Good afternoon, grasshoppers. I wanted to share with you that I just now finished grading your Chapter 9 exams, and I wanted to chat with you a little bit about that. Um, in all reality, for the most part, you just did a good job on that. I wasn't, I wasn't looking for war and peace, but I was looking for clear explanations of the questions. And one of the notions that I uh, responded to students was, I understand what Sandel is saying about these particular issues. What I was more concerned about was your explanation of it, and that's where a couple of points got lost. And but overall, I think you just did a good job on that. What it did is it shared with me that you got into the textbook, you read the chapter, and many of you gleaned some very good examples. I was actually quite impressed by some of the connections that you made. So that shared with me that this was a worthwhile endeavor. In terms of this week, I've got two YouTube videos that I want you to watch from Michael Sandel on meritocracy, the tyranny of merit, and uh, then there's another one up there on the common good. Um, I don't have the quiz done for the common good. I plan on having that done by tomorrow, and then I'll put that up. So the rest of this week, and then there's the attack on truth. That is another essay that I put in that I want you to read because I think that's very important for what's going on in our culture today. The whole notion of fake news and what is reliable, where can we turn for the truth, and how folks are confusing the truth. And I think that that's important because at the end of the day, we ought to be able to rely on the truth. We ought to strive for the truth. And we are inundated right now in lies and deception and what I call obfuscation of reality. So that's why I think this particular essay, this particular article is very important. So make sure you get that done. And I will have the other Michael Sandel issue up by tomorrow. Um, as I think I shared with you, I am reading Sandel's new book, and I'm here to tell you he does a much better job of explaining things in the book. Probably that's the case with anything. The book gives you more detail and things of that nature. And I will share with you, I'm not all that crazy about his delivery, but what he has to say in these films, this whole notion of meritocracy and the common good and things of that nature, I think that he is raising some very important points on what is going on in our society and the nature of academia, the nature of an education, and the what he is arguing is that a significant reason for the great divide in the degree of contempt that we have in our culture today is premised by this notion that, well, because I'm educated, I'm better than you are. And not only am I better than you are, but I'm I'm superior, and you're just the bottom feeder if you're uneducated. I'm paraphrasing him here, but that I think is one of the basic gist of it. And he and I see that as incredibly problematic. I think there's something that we can do about that, but it's all attitudinal, and it's what we're going to decide to do down the road for our politicians and the people that we elect to political office, because ultimately they're going to be a reflection of what we want in this culture. And we have this very misguided notion about merit. And and it fuels a very misguided notion on the very idea of meritocracy. None of us, myself included, none of us achieve what we have achieved by ourselves. We've had great influences. I, for example, I grew up in an environment, and I went to school in a particular environment. And when I went to college, I had some amazing professors that really guided and helped me along my way. All of those elements, my military service, contributed a great deal to who and what I am today. This is where Sandel is going with that notion that you don't do it by yourself. Um, there's a lot of truth. No man is an island, and so we achieve what we achieve, and there are those who are naturally gifted, and this society rewards economically those people in particular occupations, doctors and professionals, attorneys, things of that nature. So those folks, they're highly rewarded. And but that does not give license to looking at the ditch digger or the garbage person that picks up the trash with disdain and contempt. Many, many years ago, when I was an undergrad, Dick Gregory, who was a comedian, a black comedian in this culture, who was very critical of things, he said, if you think that the person that picks up your trash is really not worth anything, wait and see what happens if he doesn't do it for 4 weeks. And ironically enough, New York City found that out because the people that picked up the trash, they went on strike for 4 or 5 weeks and absolutely inundated in that city with garbage and rats, and it was just an absolute mess. So therefore, I agree that Sandel's position is very relevant. Because you're wealthy, because you're in a position of great power, does not in and of itself afford you the prerogative to view the folks that are delivering the mail or things of that nature, to view them with disdain and contempt. That is his position, and it's one that I agree with. And I think most philosophers would coincide with that notion. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight in terms of where Michael Sandel's coming from. I think the textbook that we're using on justice is a very good book. And down the road, I will make the Tyranny of Merit also a required adjunct to that textbook. But for right now, you don't have that prerogative. But I will recommend to you that you go to Amazon or you go to your bookstore or whatever, and that you pick up a copy of this book, of his latest book, and take some time and to read through it. I think you'll find that a very rewarding circumstance, a very rewarding situation for yourself. So, other than that, get the 2 films done this week. Get the Attack on Truth done this week. We'll be looking at the last chapter of Sandel next week and dealing with that and some more of those films. And that's the plan. So, if you have any questions, drop me a line. Once again, you did a good job on the test for Chapter 9, and I will be working on the quiz for Chapter 10, the final chapter in Sandel's book, and the quiz for the second film tomorrow. So, you have a good day. Notice that Coroni's gone through the roof here in Michigan. Please be careful. Just please be careful. What else can I say? Have a good evening.